We have one more speaker here today. Many CEOs they just talk about doing good, or many talk about doing good. He really does it. Arvind Narula, as the founder of the Urmatt Group, he is a pioneer in the organic industry in Thailand. And as such, he does help the poorest farmer there in their fight against poverty, and he helps them to develop something. Please welcome our last speaker for today, Arvind Narula.
So, tough job. You guys all want to go home, and I'm the last one. I'll try and keep you awake. Unlike most of the other speakers before me, I'm an impact investor who invests in projects that I control directly myself. And unlike most of the other investors in the room, I've been doing it for 35 years. So a little bit about me. So you get to, there'll be questions which all the immigration officers ask me all the time. So, Thai. So I am Thai. My grandfather emigrated from the northeast of Pakistan in 1900. So I'm more Thai than most of the Thais that you meet, but they don't believe me. I was told to personalize this a little bit, so I'm going to tell you, most of my family is German, which creates even more problems with the immigration office. My son Nicky, his wife Sheila, my wife Karen, my daughter Katya, and maybe my son-in-law, I don't know yet, Chaz. And my other family in the north of Thailand, this is only part of the group. These are the guys who work directly in the operations. And a quick pitch for my wife, who's an author. That's her latest book. It's a novel written around the Hitler era, and it's a good read. I have to say that it is actually a good read. So, tell you who I am. I've told you that. And I want to remind you of the problems of humanity, which everybody else has done, and I'm going to dramatize that a little bit. But I want to tell you also about the opportunities that we create by being bad people. So humans are the worst people on earth. And I'm going to show you why we are both the worst, and also why we have the opportunity to be the best. So, as I said, I'm a serial impact entrepreneur. I have several impact operations, mostly in Thailand. I've dabbled in Argentina, Sierra Leone, Laos. Sierra Leone was a disaster because we had to pull our people out because of Ebola. We came in just at that time, we lost all of our money, but we came in, and just as we were ready to launch, Ebola came in and we had to get out of there. We might go back in. Like just about everybody here, these things are important to me, but very few of us in this room actually do anything hands-on. And I've been doing it forever because I like it. It's fun. And my children have grown up in that atmosphere. And they continue to tell me how I can be better because they think they know more than I do, which they probably do. And I know from experience, and we'll get into that in a little while, that profit and only profit can save this world. I think there's a lot of good things to say about charity. It's got a great place. A lot of money is being put into that. But the returns, social returns, cannot be compared. Charity to profitable impact operations. And I am not wanting to brag, but I'm living proof that it can be done. And I challenge any of you not challenge, I invite any of you who want to multiply the effect. I have a couple of good years left in me to work yet, and I continue to start up a new operation every 6 months, and we only work with the poorest people that we can work with. LGT, before me, is one of our partners in one of our funds, and that's one of the craziest operations I've ever done. It's totally stupid. Should never have been a business plan that was approved by anybody, let alone me, but we put money into it, and it's the most satisfying operation I've ever done, and I'll come back to that in a little while. And now for a movie.
That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known.
So, as I said, humans are not good people. We started, and you can see how we multiplied, and what allowed us to multiply, and why we multiplied, and where we're going. Dr. Margulis, amazing woman, evolutionary theorist. She has an amazing theory, and it may be right. She says that every living creature on Earth is destined to become extinct. For one reason, all of us here on Earth are most basic job is to multiply. And that we do. And we multiply a lot. She has done a lot of different studies from bacteria to animals, and they all die, ultimately in lab scale. And the theory applied to history in a whole series of living creatures, species, and various reasons why they have gone extinct. Big thing is we've made them extinct. But her theory is also that we will make ourselves extinct. And you notice the movie before, we're nothing. We're a speck. On that speck, we're less than a speck individually each. So we're not important things. In the great scheme of things, everything we do here, impact or otherwise, she says, is meaningless. We are all destined to be extinct. I disagree a little bit. We are the only species on Earth that can consciously stop reproducing ourselves. The China one-child policy, most European countries have a declining population. So it is reversible. We do have the intelligence. We have the intelligence to continue to destroy ourselves, but we also have the intelligence to know that we need Mars or another planet, just in case Dr. Margolis is right, so that we can go destroy another planet. One of our biggest problems is our success. Very few, we talk about the fire, how we discovered fire, we talk about the wheel, the telephone, internet. One of the most important things that has caused us to continue destroying this earth and to become the population, the species that we are, the dominance that we have, is the invention of farming. The one guy, one of our ancestors, we all come from the Rift Valley, 100 families were multiplied into all the colors and subspecies that we are as humans. One of these guys discovered that instead of going to the forest every day to pick berries and to catch birds and eat them, bring the plant home. So the day he did that was the beginning of the farming evolution. That was the discovery that allowed humans to populate themselves faster and more safely. And that began the real population growth. Until then, as I said, everybody ate out. We're starting to do that again now. And then in the early 19th century, this is a long, very interesting story. Anybody who's interested, go Google that. That was the beginning of the finding of the usage of fertilizer to improve crops. And that allowed us this discovery. This is guano, the bird shit on an island, which is 3 meters deep. And we destroyed that and killed most of the birds in the process, and then found petroleum and began making fertilizer out of petroleum, destroying our earth even more. But these are the things that have created the secure base for our species to multiply. And multiply, as I said, we continue to do, and that continues to put us in jeopardy. And today, most scientists in that arena all agree that we will face a food crisis. There's an impending food crisis. Most scientists think it'll come around 2030. For obvious reasons, we don't have enough land, we don't have enough water, we have too many people. But inside all of this, think about it. In the short speck of time that we will be on this earth, we want to live well. We want to do well for others, otherwise you wouldn't be here. You do want to make the world a better place, not just for yourselves, but to make yourselves feel better, to let your children know that you're good people, that you help others. So what better way to help others than to find opportunity in the process of helping others? What better life to lead than to make money, being able to sleep well at night, knowing that nothing that you did harmed the earth or the people on this planet. In reverse, you actually help somebody who was unable to help themselves. There is the opportunity. One of the biggest problems we have today is we not only have too many people have made too many animals. We make too many cows, we make too many chickens. Unnaturally, they would not exist if we had not created the environment for the demand and therefore the production of animals. And these animals feed us to continue the destruction that we don't see, we are blind to. So the big movement, and I believe this, I work with several scientists in the area of protein. We develop our own protein too, and I'll come to that in a minute. But there's companies in the US and in Holland who have developed meat. Let's think about this. And anybody who has any understanding of this vision of the world that is coming, we will reduce animal population, farmed animal population, because we must. Farmed animals are using space that can grow crops for us, the dominant species. So we will kill them, we will get rid of them. Why? The cow is a factory. The cow eats the grass, processes it, we eat the cow. So, new science, which is now already in the stores in the US, new science says we have digital printers, right? We can actually print meat. If we can print meat, then we can use all the amino acids, all the protein substrates from the grass that the cows do that in a lab, get rid of the cow, make meat the way the cow makes the meat. Voila. No cows. That's coming. I believe by 2050, 50% of the population of animal husbandry must be gone. Good place to put your money. Wood, plastic. I'm part of an informal think tank, along with Charles Adler, the founder of the crowdsourcing, I forget the name, platform. There are 5 major locations in the seas which don't belong to any country, and therefore nothing gets done about it, where all the plastic is gathered. Each one of these islands of plastic is larger than the state of Texas, and nobody knows quite how deep it is. There's no fish, marine life left on this planet that does not have plastic in its bloodstream. Think about that. It's safer to eat farm fish than sea fish. So the farm salmon that you eat that is cheaper than the Norwegian safe catch salmon is safer to eat. Think about that. Now, if you could get all that plastic out, one of you guys with deep pockets, fund this thing. Go and catch all the plastic. Get all the agricultural waste, straw, put it together, make wood. Save the forests. Make humans use the waste in a positive way. Build houses out of plastic wood. You don't use wood for plastic wood. You use plastic and you use agricultural waste. This is a huge opportunity. So similarly, we don't have enough time to give examples on each one of these, but in every one of these problems that we have created, there's opportunities. There's money to be made in cleaning up China's air. The cost of cleaning up China's air is higher than the foreign exchange reserves of $1.5 trillion that they have. It's got to go somewhere. Think of a solution. There are solutions. We don't have time to go into it. The deserts are one of the only places left to grow food for mankind, for the population that we are continuing to create. Unless Dr. Margolis is right, unless we find solutions to grow more crops, to grow less animals, we will become extinct. We will have world wars over water. Water is the next cause of war. But we have opportunities. We have science. We can grow crops in the desert, in greenhouses. You can use the sunlight for environmental control inside the greenhouses, and you can grow crops effectively in the deserts. At my company, one of our major focuses, we have several scientists working, food scientists working in our group. We focus on how to make money, trying to solve problems. We're a very small bunch of people, very small company group. But in our little corner of the world, we're trying to find solutions. And we do find solutions. We have several IPs in several areas, and we continue to do these things. The most important thing that I always, unfortunately, spend too much time speaking at events, but I really need to stress that any investment that you do for inclusive business, any impact investment that you do, must be profitable. Because impact investment, by definition, impacts the people that you're trying to help. And if it's not profitable or you cannot sustain a financial model, ultimately the people who will pay for your failure are the people you're trying to help. We don't like chemicals. So we focus, everything we do is organic certified. And this is one of the greatest areas of opportunity. Today, organic food occupies 4% of the developed world supermarket space. And it has grown in the last 20 years at a double-digit growth year on year. And it will go to 20%. So the opportunity in organic foods, which is good for the people who are growing it and good for the people who are eating it, it's a no-brainer. That shows you what I just said. Those are the numbers we're looking at, and more recent numbers are even higher than this. So we've been at it, as I said, for over 35 years. In the north of Thailand, we focus a lot on in the Golden Triangle, where the opium trade was. Some of you are old enough to remember the opium trade of the Golden Triangle of Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos. So these people who used to work for the warlords growing opium and was enslaved to the Chinese warlords for the opium trade, after that was eradicated, the government forgot them. So they were the poorest people in the country, and we decided to work with them because of that. And over the last 35 years, so I worked with some of these farmers for so long. I had this farmer who came up to me one day and said, "I remember you used to have hair." So it was very satisfying to know that he remembered me from when I used to have hair. That's how long he had been with me. Our success is rated by me on two categories. Number one, we have never lost a farmer in 30 years in our projects. We have never lost a global client ever since our inception. The client is because they can brag our story. They can put on the packets of the product that we sell to them. So these are integrity, very clear goals. The people who work for you, nobody quits us. I have employees who've been with me who've never had another job in decades. So the people who will come and work for you in your corporations or the businesses that you're running in the impact area will stay with you because they have the same values. Those values are some of the biggest hurdles that you have to create and maintain. I don't need to repeat that. So the formula is easy. There's plenty of things you guys in the West want. You have a lot more money than we do in the East. So we charge you a lot for the stuff that we grow for very little. And I enjoy that. My farmers enjoy that. You can afford it. So choose a product. Go to a poor neighborhood or poor country. Find a product. China uses dogs. They're doing truffles. I mean, truffles, with dogs in China. It can be done. So choose a product no matter what. Find a solution. Find an impoverished society who can benefit from your choice of high-value product that people who have more money than sense want to pay for. And give it to them. We do that. On and on again. I'm obviously exaggerating. We grow rice. You can't, overvalue that too much. But you can, intelligent targeting of selection of what you get your people, the people you want to impact. Intelligent selection so that you ensure that they can not be hurt by your decisions. All of our production of everything we do is sold out 18 months before we plant it. And that's on the basis of selecting people who understand that they need to buy rice or shoes or whatever it is that you want to make anyway, and let them commit a certain amount of their requirements to you long term, and give them the bragging rights. Show them what the effect is. Everybody wants to do good. Very few people get the opportunity. Those who can't do what I do can ride my back and put it on the bags and tell the children that I'm helping somebody. Give them the opportunity. You can do that if you actually roll up your sleeves. Don't need to repeat that. It's very, very important that your profitability is substantial. Not because you want the money to go skiing every day yourselves, but because that will protect the target population that you're trying to improve. We employ a lot of farmers. We do only organic rice. We do some crazy varieties of rice that, we do colored red rice and blue rice and black rice. And, some chef downtown New York says, I'll pay 4 times more for that. So, 20 families can be improved because of that. Now, this is just me bragging on the things that I've done. These are the rules, the mandatory statements that you need to adhere to for yourself. Innovation, la-di-da, all that stuff that makes your project worthy of bragging rights. And bragging rights, the story sells. You have a product to make or a service to produce, it's always the story that sells. Every time you pick up a packet of some food that looks good, that feels good, that's organic, there's a story on it. Coffee in the hills of Bali by tribe so-and-so, hand-picked. You guys know about the elephant coffee? The civet coffee? There's an elephant coffee. Who the hell wants an elephant coffee? It stinks. But it sells, right? It's the story always that sells. So to get the story, it has to be real. You have to have a traceability system, and that people can actually touch and feel. So blockchain is the area we're going towards to achieve that. Everything we do is zero waste, and zero waste is great because zero waste means you make more money. If you don't throw something away, you can sell it. This year we have smokestacks. So we burn rice husk to make steam, to do stuff with steam, and then you got all this stuff going up the stack. It's gases. This year we're going to capture the CO2. Guess where there's all the Coca-Cola that you drink, and even the beers, some of them are carbonated artificially. Where does the carbon dioxide come from? Petroleum. They burn petroleum so that they can capture the CO2, put it into the bottle to give to you to drink. So we are going to have organic CO2 because we have organic rice husks, organic gases going up the stack. We'll capture the CO2, clean it out, put it back into the drinks, and tell Coca-Cola, launch an organic drink, and here's an organic gas for you to put in there. So everything that you don't throw away can make money. And these are the steps, this is the approach you need to take in order to make an impact, more so than non-impact operations, because impact operations by definition are almost always more expensive to run. So we add value to everything. So we have a principle. Every time we make a product, we grow rice, we have byproducts, we make the byproduct into another product that is of higher value, like rice snacks. So once we have rice snacks, then some of them break. Now, instead of thinking of that as waste, we think of that as raw material to try and make a higher value than the original snack that we made. So if you continue on that basis, and we do that every day in every one of our operations, if you continue to do that, then the valuation of your entire enterprise is multiplied. As I said, waste is value. In this world, there's 50 million, did I say 50 million? Yes, 50 million tons of rice bran is fed to animals, which we want to get rid of anyway. So, and that's because nobody processes it to stabilize it. It has 100 antioxidants in it, and almost 50 million tons of it is thrown away. So we've developed an IP to be able to capture this and feed it to humans, and it works. We are now shipping it. It's way more expensive than the basic product that we make, which is rice. And then we add value. Here's the value addition stuff that I was talking about. It's non-stop. You can actually make medicines. You know, you ladies use all the little compact thing with the mirror inside the powder that keeps us looking at you. That's rice. You know, that's like 5,000 times value addition. And that's the other thing that we burn, and I told you about. And we continue this process. This is only part of the chart. And then every one of our operations, we grow chia seeds. We have various snack operations, pasta operations, coconuts. We have a great coconut. And Julia, where's Julia? She's been given a box of it just now. So it's all of it is the same process. We make coconut water, and we know that we use too much plastic. And I showed you the plastic wood before. So a simple answer was, we have no choice. We have to use plastic because of the process. We don't use heat, we use pressure, and the only way to do that is in plastic. So a simple answer to this was, let's just take out more plastic from the environment than we put in. That solves the problem. So that becomes profitable because we then buy garbage and add it to ag waste and make wood, save trees, feel great, tell our kids how good we are, and we're okay to use plastic. This is the project that LGT is partnering with us in. This is the crazy project, and this, I promise you, I'm about to finish. This is the crazy project that we launched, and it's become a global case study. I'm very proud of it. These are the hill tribes who were enslaved by the opium warlords. These are the people who have no ID cards, so the children can't go to school. They're the people who can't access hospitals. They don't have roads. They don't have electricity or water. A great feeling. We gave a couple of villages solar lighting, and there was the first evening in the history of that village where the child could read a book at night. So this project is totally crazy because we give everything to these communities. We give them the hens. We tell them to grow us some corn, grow some soybeans, all those things. We buy all of that back from them. We make it into feed, give it back to them for free, And every morning, our offices in all these villages buy eggs for cash from them. And we have increased their revenue. This is an audited project. We've increased their revenues of these communities by 300%. And one of the proudest moments of my life, they don't even speak Thai. They speak the rural dialects of the hill tribes. One of these guys came up to me, grabbed me by the arm, and said to me, "Thank you, my daughter does not have to work in the city at night anymore." Boom. You know, these are the things that give you value. And this project, by the way, loses money every day. Has done for 5 years, but we figure we'll break even this year. It's a volume thing. It's also the biggest organic brand in the country today, and we started shipping to China. So we expect by June we will break even, and then it'll go to profitability. And my partners, I'm a member of the Young Presidents Organization. Some of you may have heard of that. All my partners are part of the YPO who've wanted to join the journey with me, so I start new projects as new partners come in. They are willing to continue to pump money into projects like this because of it satisfies a need. But our intent with this is to take it to, and there are hill tribes all the way from China to Indonesia. Our intent is to take this to all the societies, all the countries in between the major cities that have populations that can afford expensive eggs, and take this model and multiply it in all those countries. And we think we'll be able to do that. It's very, very satisfying. You can look at it online. It's called hilltribeorganics.com. These are the various things and the various certificates and companies that we have. All of them, except the eggs project, is profitable. All of them are very, very satisfying. And we plan to continue multiplying what we are doing in as many places as fast as the rest of my years will allow me. And anybody who is interested to come on this journey, talk to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Arvind Narula, for this very impressive last speech. I'm sure there are some questions from the audience. We have a microphone here.
Thank you so much. I'm Roman from Trash Hero. I also had the pleasure to live in Thailand for 4 years, and I'm so happy you bring up the plastic pollution, because I guess you were in contact with Charles Moore for the 5 Gyres.
Charles Adler.
Okay, then Charles Moore was the guy who sailed through the ocean in 1997.
Of Mare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and he sailed through garbage all of a sudden, and then they found that there's so much garbage out there, it can never be cleaned. Actually, with one boat every day, it would take 78,000 years to clean all the plastic in the ocean. Most of it already sank, so it's gonna get in the food chain. So that's why zero waste, I think, is the only solution. The same with someone from Jordan was here to promote waste to energy in Jordan. We need to have a chat, because waste to energy will also not be the solution. The only solution for the garbage will be zero waste. When we go back to building hospitals and see the cancer rates, when you burn the trash, dioxin is produced and you're gonna get cancer. Now the gender equality is that the man can never get rid of those dioxin, but the woman can. Very easy. It's called getting a baby. All the dioxin that causes cancer gets, for 6 generations, it will go to the next firstborn child all the time. So we can build lots of hospitals, but I think also we need to go back to the source of the problems. If we don't solve the plastic pollution, and if we don't solve, the garbage problem, I think then by 2050, all the fish will be gone, and we will have a huge impact, and the millennials that talk today, they will have to solve this somehow. So thanks very much for bringing that up, and I hope we can meet up again in time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I disagree with you on one point, that we can't clean up the oceans. It's too late to get it out of the marine life bloodstream, that's for sure. But I had a meeting with a very important bank in this area who asked me to meet with the senior executives because I thought I had a solution. I think I do have a solution about the marine waste. Get a big mothership, make it into a factory. Stop in all the agricultural countries, fill it up with ag waste. Have a factory inside there. Go up to the island of plastic waste. Suck up all the plastic waste, throw the water back in, grind it up, mix it up with the ag waste, and right there and then extrude it into wood. And then as a ship, you have to ship wood to other countries, right? As a ship, it has already got wood to ship to the next country. And get a fleet of those. You will clean up the ocean. There are answers. Excuse my French, we just don't have the balls to do the right thing. If you guys really want to do something about it, you want to be named as the guy who cleaned up the oceans of the world, come talk to me. There are solutions. There are solutions. It's real. I've extruded the plastic with ag waste. I've done trials in China. It works. But it's big, big bucks. Do you have it?
There's a current
I'm not
project.
saying what it is.
Sorry. The Ocean Cleanup tries to develop a system that is 100 kilometers wide on both sides in the middle of the ocean.
The Yugoslavian answer, no, it doesn't
it
work.
hasn't been proven to work. But we hope to find a solution for it.
That doesn't work. It was a good idea.
Hello. Here. Over there. That's Cristiana Delaire, Living Art Technologies. I'm very, very pleased to hear about a new model, a profitable model that finally skips and avoids animal exploitation. Because I see that very often we talk about waste and everything, but we don't really dig into the real source of pollution and anything. So, you know, the end of today's meeting, for me, it's very, it's excellent because it gives to me a much more confirmation about the way we should go.
I thought you'd be asleep by now.
No, I'm not. And I just say that, it's not really a question, but I just wanted to tell you I'm really very happy of what you're doing on the model, and especially because you said you are replicating these models, and knowing no exploitation of animals, being myself not one, it's really great. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.